So what are we talking about? Amnesia Fortnight wrap up.
Amnesia Fortnight! Amnesia Fortnight! Okay, what were the projects in that again? It's been a while. Okay, Amnesia Fortnight. Dear Leader, Steed, MNEMONIC, Little Pink Best Buds. See? I can remember stuff. It was a good year. It was like, we've had years where like projects just didn't come together, but the games were good. And I played them all and they all had, their strengths. I think Dear Leader I played that multiple times to see how different things would affect it, and that was fun. MNEMONIC had a crazy vibe to it, like a great atmosphere and some really polished looking things, like the credits of all things. Really, the game had a lot of style to it. And STEED was neat to see them use the Buddha engine and see them use the open world part of the Buddha engine. Like usually they go small, so it was neat to see a game go big and have a huge set piece, like you're riding a horse on top of a loose water wheel, thinking big. Who would think the guy that worked on Uncharted would come up with a big, grand set piece like that? Oh, well, I hope we got the horse sex in. No, I suspected there'd be horse sex. It was called Stud, right? STEED. I think I probably misunderstood the name.
When I first was talking about it, I tried cramming all these game mechanic ideas that I had into it, and talking with people here and at home, that didn't seem to resonate. That's the feedback I got, was like, oh, okay, I kind of get that, but what's the, how can we build a more intimate, story through this? And so I scaled it way back and then really tried to focus on the idea that, okay, you have these characters that you can find in the world and stuff that you work with, but there's this one main character, the boy, that you will work with throughout the game and grow with him, and he'll grow alongside of you. But after the process, talking with a lot of people and seeing a lot of the reactions on the internet and stuff, people resonated with the original idea of multiple heroes that you pick up and drop, Crazy Taxi style, more than they did when I was originally pitching the idea around the office. People were kind of clamoring for that original nuggets, which is interesting. So are we going to pursue mechanic set X or mechanic set Y? Are we going to try to tell a little story through this, or just have it be a bit of a sandboxy playground? Knowing that the full idea contains both of those things. Like this is just a slice of what the full idea could be. And I think we learned a lot about how we would do some of those things in a full release. So I think in all those fronts, that the direction we went totally worked, and I'm really proud of the team and what we created.
But we'll be playing STEED first, going in, y'all ready?
I think so.
Y'all ready for this? Let's look at this controller, okay. Stomp, rear attack, Jolt Rider. That'd have been a good name for the game, Jolt Rider.
Try that.
Oh, those. Whoa!
Oh, get him.
This is what you get for being in a game. What is that strong vocal acting I hear coming from that young boy?
Keep cycling that sound, you'll hear him say something inappropriate.
That's very polished for a 2-week demo.
The water looks fantastic, the mist coming up. There's more apples.
Look how big the water is. Oh, look.
It's like little god rays. Yeah.
All right, this is Fence the game. I saw somebody working on that. Let me show you the penalty for being a Grek in my land.
You gotta go help the boy.
Why would I help a boy when I can kill? Man, combat takes forever to do, but they got combat in a 2-week demo, which is awesome. This is some pretty complicated horse fighting. Oh, I just pooped! I totally just pooped! I can't believe they got poop in.
Hellfire hadn't anticipated this change of events.
Huh? What do you see with your horse eyes? That is one talented horse.
Yeah, I know. It is all about the horse.
Run! Run from my water wheel, death.
Yeah. Oh, you got him. You got him.
It's like the end of Prometheus. They just run a straight line away from the giant falling water wheel. They're like, this is our land. We've been here for 100 years. Sorry. You picked up a weapon and now you get run over by a horse. Oh, one more dramatic. Yeah, Steed.
Yeah.
Steed. 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 Okay.
How do we call people?
I'll go page people. Everybody managed to play Steed? Yes. First of all, big hand for the Steed team. So we're just going to talk about it for like 10 minutes before we go play Dear Leader. So if anyone wants to share any impressions about what they thought of the game, where they thought it could go, or whether they think it's a cool game to make.
Anna?
First thing to notice, Zeb is a really good voice actor.
Yeah. Issa was cringing at a couple of the lines and laughing and cracking up.
Oh my
during it.
Apparently he's raised by sailors.
What are gnats anyway?
I think the fighting felt pretty badass, and it was one of the first things I tried, and I loved the animations of the little gremlin dudes. They're like pretty adorable, and then you kind of want to bully them a little bit.
And you're not just trying to set the stage that we're really nice about all these projects. You're saying only good things about specifically the project leader, and I mean they're prototypes, so it's hard to really like pick on them because there's a lot of holes in it. Still, obviously, it's something that you can pick up, but it's more talking about, I guess, like when I think about this being a longer experience, there are so many places you can go with it, right? Like, is the writer important, or is it about you're switching up a whole bunch of different writers throughout it?
How would you make a long experience in this world without it being done in the traditional open world game style?
You think it wouldn't be an open world thing with missions and side missions and?
I think the original idea was it is, but I think we have to be really smart about that if we were to pursue this game. You know, like figure it out. How could we take the stuff that we're learning from these games like Minecraft and DayZ, just other games where they take mechanical content and then stretch that out into being something you can experience for a long, long time, and incorporate that in a game like this. JP?
You could build a good enough chunk of world, you know, like a really meaty slice of the world, but not as big as Brutal, like some fraction of the size of Brutal Legends world. And then you could just like have the story be about something about the passage of time, you know, where like every 5 or 8 years or something, and there would be like 3 acts or something, I guess. And you use that same chunk of world, and you don't have to like completely rebuild it from scratch. You just change it over time and show that like at first it's peaceful and you're a young horse and they're a kid and you're kind of learning the ropes and having adventures. And then like a war starts, you know, years later, and they go off to fight and you become a war horse. And then later there's like some sort of political intrigue at the kingdom, and it's all developed and stuff.
Right. I think it's a great idea.
I don't know. It's just a random idea about how to make it a bigger.
And then jumping. That's the only thing I want. Glorious, beautiful jumps. So thank you, Steed team, for a beautiful job.
Yeah, I mean, I think that in general the feedback was positive. I'd love to work on this some more. And what happens if you're trying to do stealth but you're a horse? Like, what does that mean? I'd love to see that kind of a thing where you have to do like an Assassin's Creed style mission on the parapets of a castle, but you are this horse and you're kind of loud and you're kind of ungainly, and that's kind of the point. One of the original concepts for this, which I kind of abandoned, was that the world was medieval America. Like, if you go to a Ren Fair, you know, Renaissance Festival, imagine if that was actually what medieval times were like. You know, they're chomping on big turkey legs and going to jousts that are all they're like WWF matches. They've already been like prearranged in the background, and kind of Idiocracy meets medieval times. And if you have a kingdom that has kind of gone soft, what kind of characters can you get out of that, and what kind of funny experiences can you make?
What was really funny to me was that I almost, like looking back, especially at all the episodes, it seemed like almost every day, like towards the end of the first week and almost every day like after that, I was like, yep, it's almost playable. It's almost playable. Like tomorrow for sure, it's gonna be playable. Like it's just like that. It wasn't until the very end. And just like that moment when we had this playthrough meeting where we're all like kind of sitting around like in Granny, like looking at the game. It was playing, and I typed in like Camden Cakes as like, you know, like as the leader. Then I signed, like I drew a little signature, and just like everyone was calling me correctly. And it was like I was in this office, there's a fan spinning, and like, you know, just the moment when that all came together, it was like, I didn't care how buggy the game was at that point. I would have been happy if that was like what we ended up with after the 2 weeks, because it felt like such a triumph. Like that was just such an exhilarating feeling. And then some of the other stuff is just, I loved it when members of the team would just like do something in the game and then post it on Twitter because they thought it was funny. It's almost like there was this sense of that I created a game, and also just that the team members were enjoying like while they were working on it and contributing to it, and like it's, I don't know. Yeah, that was really cool.
Can they hear me now? Hi! Ready for Dear Leader?
Yeah.
Okay, so I've just taken over this country. That's all I know. The old ways have been done away with. It is now year one of the state. Our leader stands astride the threshold of history. We await their guidance into the shining new era.
Wow, they're happy. They're happy you're here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Here's my office. Oh, I'm recognizing some Broken Age controls here. Nice. See, should I look at my reports? My Wonder Woman
Well,
book?
there's something
My stamp?
flashing.
That's
Maybe you should
obviously
go with that.
the thing. Well, that guy's happy.
You might recall that you wisely executed the
recall
previous
the
Minister of Development during your takeover.
Why? Oh, we killed the previous minister. Nice. I have placed the profiles of candidates you requested on the desk. You're doing the voice better.
In the edicts folder.
Oh, my edicts.
Go to your edicts folder. Max Fielding or Hunter Armstrong?
What? Oh, I have to choose one? Okay, Max. Moral character. Max is emotionless. Oh, yeah, robot. Practically actionless. He has accomplished some in his career, but just enough to get by. He has been described as an inert gas. Hunter Armstrong, moral character. Hunter is unflappable and cocksure.
Cocksure. Is that why he's a philandering womanizer
He's
by
an
night?
adroit negotiator by day and a philandering womanizer by night.
If I may say, it was also wise to dispose of the old development minister in the way that you did.
Well, you know, I hate firing people. It's easier just to cut their heads off. I need to know how you would like your country to address you. I'd like to be known as, like, the glyph, like Prince. Lord SCHAFER. What would I like to be addressed as?
Forthwith.
Lord God King Boo Foo.
Nice.
I
at
think
that.
obviously penis is the thing to draw here, but
Wow.
yeah.
So it looks like.
That looks like you're... Wait, is it a bunny?
I've tried to draw a bunny, yeah.
Aw, sticking his tongue out.
This is buck teeth.
Very nice.
Thanks. I mean, I think it's important to have authority, but also a little whimsy. The new stamp has arrived. The new design is far superior to the previous one. Although it doesn't look like a penis, so what's up?
Oh.
Local elder wouldn't KIPNIS has lost her cat. I'm the leader of the country. I can't be dealing with this.
Look, he
Trust
rose
funder.
to power on his father's coattails.
No, I hate that.
You should probably, like, kill him.
What? We're so bloodthirsty. We're just looking for people to kill on the first day. We need to squash this rumor before it besmirches the integrity of the party. I can quickly discredit the journalist before he causes too much damage. Just say the word. He wants to spread rumors. I will spread his entrails around the square. That's a little heavy-handed, don't you think? In the end, the wisdom and strength of Lord God King Bufu was not enough. It was her sad destiny to be laid low by the enemies of progress, forced into exile, even as the spirit of revolution is still burned in the hearts of the people.
Wow.
Dear leader, we should not forget you.
Dude, I think you
What have I
kind of just
done?
lost the game. All right, should I get Anna?
This is the one I was most curious about because the other ones I saw, like you were saying, people running around, but I didn't know how all these different screens I was seeing were going to work together, but I was impressed with how they flowed together, and I really felt like I understood how I was running the country for the most part. It was pretty clear, but I feel like I would need to play this game a few times to understand all the effects that all the, like I was just getting through one playthrough where I made a bunch of choices, but I didn't yet get to see what would happen.
Yeah.
Except for obviously there's a big flaw in the game because I lost and I was playing really well. I was playing pretty. Raise your hand if you didn't use a penis for your stamp.
Yeah,
Did not use,
nice.
Oh, okay. Interesting. Okay, wait. Any other questions or comments for
Matt.
It seems like if it's supposed to be like sort of I don't know if it's supposed to be more simmy or more puzzly, like more like long playthrough or more multiple short ones. But like if it's like longer ones and simmy, like it seems like the hardest thing to do with something like this is to like educate the player, but in a way that it's not obvious what they should be doing at the time. So that later they're like, oh fuck, that's what I should have done. Like I should have known, but I was like overwhelmed by my desire to make a agricultural utopia or something.
Yeah, totally. I think one of the things that I kind of wanted is for the player to be like, oh man, it would be really cool if I could do this, and then they go to their edicts and they're like, oh, I can do this. That's great. Like that's kind of like what I'm more for, rather than oh, there's this really elaborate tech tree in the game that the player needs to learn about. Like I'd like for it to have that complexity, but I don't want it to be the full emphasis of the game. Like I wanted it to be kind of more just like the players coming up with a story in their mind and the game is playing along with it, I guess. Yeah.
Is there anything that you would have done differently, or anything you felt you could have improved on?
Most of the negative feedback from that like survey was all just stuff like that, like, oh, the game, it was fun, but then it broke or something like that, where it was actually some of the things that people thought were errors or like that they thought the game had broken was actually, I mean, some of them were legitimately broken, but a lot of the time it was just our pacing was bad and we just didn't have time to tune it. So like that was another thing that we maybe, if I had scaled everything, or scoped rather everything properly, that I would have had a little bit more time to do. Like some of the gameplay, like the fact that we give you some options about how you can solve a particular situation feels dynamic, and so like the dynamic scenarios like weren't as necessary, and then we spent some time like writing them and like, you know, just coming up with design ideas where we could have worked on getting stuff in, and then we would have had some more time to do tuning and balance on like the core loop and stuff. So
All right, big hand for Anna and the Dear Leader team. Yay! All right, congratulations. Good job, well done. All right, next up I believe is Mnemonic, right? Yeah. Let's go play Mnemonic. Derek Brand.
I think it came out pretty well. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Yeah, I mean, obviously there's stuff we could change or do better, but I think like for the amount of time that we had, I think it was pretty good.
Just like, is there a particular puzzle that like really nails it for you?
Not so far as I would say like, we definitely have to bring this into the final, like this puzzle has to be in the final game, but I think like the key puzzle, I think is a good like example of the cool things you can do with dealing with memories and stuff and not dealing with physical objects. The amount that that's abstracted is I think ideal.
I just adjust the straps.
Where am I?
Is that okay?
Should be the main screen.
So left stick moves you forward.
Oh man, this is cool.
Okay.
I just wanted to see if they did the oh, wow. Oh, this looks like a garage. Man, I love these transitions.
She's doing stuff she shouldn't do, which is probably why she got murdered.
Oh, blame the victim, Issa. Okay, no, this is a good adventure game. I am totally stuck. People like hard adventure games, not easy ones, let me tell you. Oh, it's also getting hot. Issa, do you want to try it? No, I've heated up the headphones.
Glass don't fit under
It's a little damp. Oh, I think I know enough. Wait, you want to hit? Wait, look on the ground. Look on the ground. Look for the oil stain. Look for the oil stain.
Where?
Focus.
No.
Then right trigger picks it up.
It certainly surprise me if I saw these in a dark place.
Ah, okay, cool.
So.
Oh my god, I can't see
The
anything
headlight
in
on the
here.
car.
Oh, right, we crashed.
Oh, I think I saw the documentary was going to happen here. Look at the glove compartment.
Oh my god.
Yeah. What's that?
Do I grab it?
Focus on it. No investors' records, CO unharmed.
Place well with the controller.
Okay, I think this is getting really foggy.
Yeah, it was a huge surprise, like just in terms of like how people would play the game. I wasn't expecting people to struggle with it as much as they did, like just in terms of like figuring out what to do, because it was so obvious to me because I'd just been, you know, like you're entrenched in it for that long and you expect people to get it right away, but it's good. It wasn't like 2 minutes of gameplay, because that's what it would have been if they knew exactly where to go. It lasted like the whole time. People, like only a few people finished it. So that's cool.
Big hand for the Mnemonic team. Yay, Mnemonic. I played the game with the headset of the Oculus Rift on. Did you see that?
Yeah, I did. I saw it this morning.
That's cool when I was doing it?
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. Yeah.
It probably did not look that cool. I was playing with a controller though. I could not make the inventory work. We could not figure out the inventory.
The
we were like
controls are a
left,
little
right,
busted.
and it brought up 2 objects, and then we.
I think you were hitting both.
Yeah.
Just cycle through.
He said to hit both.
Sorry.
I want Oliver as like the new like bad tutorial, in-game tutorial. Oh, you fell off the word sorry. You died. What other impressions did you guys have of Mnemonic that you'd like to share with Mr. Hot Seat?
It wasn't just like, oh, there's a bunch of locks and I have some keys and I guess I'll try all the combinations until it works, because you couldn't really do that. You had to think about it a little bit more. And so I felt like that puzzle made me feel smarter than most other kind of puzzles.
Is that a clue for me?
Yeah. The clue is that you have to be smarter to make it work. Try to be smarter next time.
Yeah, the degree to which you undercommunicated a lot of things in the story and stuff was really effective. You know, I mean, it's kind of like the narrative equivalent of what you were doing with lighting, which is only lighting a tiny little bit and then like just leaving like, hey, we don't have to detail all the rest of the stuff, and it's a more engaging composition.
We have all those details worked out.
Yes. They're all
fucking reams of documentation, but you know, being the master storytellers that we are, only gave you that. Derek only wanted to light a little bit of it. And so
sure.
That's really all we can show you.
Yeah, same way with Bioshock, definitely.
And also hearing about like how much of the story people actually understood. That was interesting because I wasn't sure if it would make any sense whatsoever. I still don't think it really made a ton of sense to most people. But that's probably okay, like for such a short thing. It's like, but I think like the basic core I think is there to expand on. I think that's the whole point of Amnesia Fortnight. So I guess, like, in that way, I think it was successful.
Please have some champagne, and we will now go play a little Pink Best Buds. But first, a big hand for Mnemonic and Derek and the team. Yay!
Tim got to play your game. How did it feel to have Tim playing something you made?
It's delightful to watch him play it, you know. It was also like a little nerve-wracking because I was waiting for him to find the things and experience it the way that I was hoping everyone would see it. And I'm sure it's the same thing for everybody: nerve-wracking and fun, right? Everyone. Who said anything different than that?
John.
Did he? What did he say?
John was just having fun.
Oh, shit. I'm just having fun.
Little pink, little pink, little pink, best buds, little pink, little
that
pink,
the song?
little pink, best buds. I just wrote that just now. Are we? Oh God, there's people. Shall we start? Oh man.
It comes localized.
Those sounds were great. That's how we're gonna do sound in every game from now on. Oh God, where am I? Pretty land. Oh geez.
Uh-oh.
Run. Run.
The other way.
I'm gonna run away from them. I don't want to be friends with anybody. Is that bad for this game that I just don't want to be? I like the dog guy. Oh, look, he did a trick with his dog!
Oh, that's awesome.
Oh God. Oh. Yeah! Haha. This is what it means to be my friend. This is what it's like. Hey. Oh God, hairy guy. Ah! Ah!
No way, man.
Oh my God. It's nice. Oh, he's talking about the advantages of dog poop. I myself can't poo, so think about that.
But he has a butt. Why can't he poo?
I don't know, Issa. Why can't he poo through his butt? I hope you're...
Bellfire can poo. How
Yeah,
come
that's true.
Best Buds can't?
Poo for me. Are you sure this time? Yes. Wait, the brains are still developing. Seek and communicate with Big Leg. Wait, what's wrong with I have my friend here. Error.
There's Big Leg. Say,
What's up?
compliment his big leg.
I like your leg. Oh yeah, it was good. I like that.
Oh, look, he's going to the house.
Oh, get in the house.
Okay, now you can try to help.
Really good if you pick.
Oh yeah! Woohoo! crazy. I like the little door for him.
Yeah.
Ah, creepy. Creepy. Okay, you're watching me play. What did you think of my performance?
I was excited to see you play it and to perceive things that weren't actually happening and to like be interested, like, you know.
I couldn't tell if I was getting like a lot of the correct response. Like some of the responses were like I talked to the guy about his dog. I was using like Animal Crossing rules of like mentioning things they mentioned or whatever. But was I doing some of them the wrong way? Because some of them, like when I was just saying hello, and they would be like, "What?"
Yeah, I don't think there's any way to do it wrong. Really, that's my hope with the game. Is there's no way to really do it wrong. I like that it's so open. When they stab you, you messed up.
Sorry, Tim.
Yeah. But anyone else want to share their experiences without revealing too many of the potatoes?
It's not really like anything else that I've played. Even some like crazy, whacked out indie bullshit. It's like it's its own animal, which is amazing.
We'll put that on the box, man. Better than crazy whacked out indie bullshit.
Crazier than any whacked out indie bullshit.
But it was really cool, and the sort of like climax stuff, I was fucking losing my mind, like trying to type to a particular thing in the world. I was trying to tell it something, and it was, I don't know, I was like losing it. Plus, but then it worked, and then it got crazier.
That's crazy.
It's crazy.
Anyone?
Yeah.
It was awesome having you, Pen.
Hey.
Yay! Big head touch, little pink head touch. Okay. Good job. Good job. I don't want your mic.
I think that's what any game is probably. Is like you figure out what your limitations can be. You know how to make it fun within the boundaries that you have, and it just evolves. Seems like that every time you make a game, you have to go through that process. When I'm making stories and cartoons, I just have to figure out the story, and then we can produce the thing that you're looking at, you know. And with the game, you don't know what your challenge is. Like, you don't know what your obstacles are yet, because you need to first jump in the soup and start making it, and then the obstacles will start showing up, and they're different every time, right? I get excited about the idea that you're creating everything from scratch. You're creating time, you're creating light, you know, all these things, which I think that's the coolest thing about programming. So that was pretty interesting, I thought, to learn for my first time learning that lesson.
I mean, I really liked being a project leader. I thought it was really interesting. Like, I thought I was like drunk with power, you know, like being able to make the kinds of decisions that I got to make, and like have input on the aesthetics, and just never feeling helpless. Like if things were getting out of control, you have the power to actually cut things. You have the power to scope things. It's like your responsibility to do that. And if your team is stressing out, like, you know, I see it and I can actually immediately react, and it's a really good feeling. The only downside was that I thought I would get all this programming done, and like I don't know, it was a shit show. I couldn't do it.
What were some of the biggest roadblocks or like mistakes that were made that you know to avoid moving forward?
Being more like assertive and like not be afraid to like say this is what I want initially, and just being more confident in like what my ideas are. I think that would have solved a lot of like the first few days of just like confusion and general uneasiness in the team.
Did it change you?
Like I have been in a situation that would normally make me uncomfortable or whatever, and then just thought back to like, well, I did pitch that thing, and it is something I can look back in my mind like, oh, I did that, so this is like nothing, like whatever. I shouldn't be like all uptight about it. So I guess it has, yeah. I guess it has, yeah.
I think that one of the things we could work on is a bit more leadership development. It's a bit of a trial by fire kind of a situation. We trust that you're going to rise to the occasion. Now, rise to the occasion thing, which is great, and people do. We'll rise to the occasion, and it's great to be reminded that you can rise to the occasion. But that's something that I think you have to learn how to do at Double Fine. You know, like there's a lot of people who have been project leads on full projects that then are needed to help out. Lee did an amazing job on stacking, and then now he's been on Broken Age, and Tim's the lead there. And so there's different roles and different times to be kind of the senior developer versus being a lead. They're different things, and I really respect people like him that can do both of those things really well.
So, I mean, we're definitely, I think, going to change some things next year and try it. AF is always about trying different things next year. Well, I want to try something different with how we pick the projects and actually do a mix of picking projects, like having different slots. I was thinking about having actually 4 slots and having all those methods choose one of the slots. One by me, one by employees, one by the internet, and if we have a special guest, that's the 4th slot. Or if we don't have a special guest, then the internet gets a 2nd slot. Yeah, and I also feel like a little bit like I don't pre-game Amnesia Fortnight much. Like we don't talk about what we'd like to do as a company, and we just kind of like go, submit your games. But I do like to do 2 things. One is talk about, like kind of inspire people to go crazy a little bit. Basically, I want to go on a really big LSD trip with the entire company, take everyone to the desert, and we're gonna lose a couple of people. But percentage-wise, we're going to come back with more ideas. We're going to come back with more brains than we left with, right? And I want to I'd love to encourage people to not just repeat and be like, oh, I want to do a roguelike, but not that I don't like the roguelikes, but not just imitate things, but really go nuts with ideas. And then also talk a little bit about and on the other, to balance that out, some strategic things. There was a year when we were really curious about mobile. Let's think about what could we do on an iPhone? Or I wouldn't say that now, but that was one thing or one year. And if it's we want to think about doing stuff with our 2D engine, or if we just were really hot on adventure games that one year, let's talk about anyone want to do anything else with this great adventure game engine we have. If we had Psychonauts fans, but they'd probably ask for Psychonauts 2. They probably wouldn't ask for Brutal Legend. But I like the fact that we could spring that on them, and then maybe they like that. Maybe the Psychonauts fans would be like, we didn't like Brutal Legend, or the Brutal Legend fans would not necessarily have chosen Costume Quest next, but there is something to that you don't give them exactly what they asked for, but something that trying something new every time has its own benefit to it. It was created as a morale event, you know what I mean? It was created to have a pressure release valve on people's both their tolerance for working on one thing for 5 years, but also their ideas. They're I have so many people just wanting to express themselves. So it was it was a thing to boost morale, and that's what it did. And it still provides that, even if we don't make any games out of it. And it just turned out to be this great way to get more games.
Looking back on it, it was fun. It wasn't fun, but looking back on it, I can pretend like it was fun. It doesn't make any sense, but I'm super glad I did it, and so yeah, it was good. I think it was a good thing for me personally. Yeah, awesome experience of my career, for sure.
I was really surprised that my project was voted on, that it was that popular, that people wanted to see it being made into a game in the first place, because I'd never pitched a game before to Tim, or I talked to him about a number of them, but they never felt like they were good enough. Whereas in this case, pitching it publicly in a format where you had to lay out my idea very concisely, and I think it was transformative experience, because I have a lot more, I have a sense oh yeah, this is what it takes to, this is the state at which my idea has to be in order for it to be presentable to people. And once I feel confident enough that it's there, I should just not worry about it. I should just go for it, I shouldn't be self-conscious or whatever it is. It doesn't even matter whether you were going to be a good project lead. This shit makes you a good project. You have to be a good project lead to get this done, to get something like this accomplished.
If you put great expectations on the people that are good, they're gonna perform. It is a time-pressured experience, but it's also about just wanting to make something great and getting to play with some really interesting ideas and doing something new. So it's not like Amnesia Fortnight is, take the crappiest thing you can think of and work on the most boring part of it and get it done in 2 weeks. It's think about the greatest thing you can think of and work on the most fun part of it in 2 weeks. Ideally, that you have something that's fun and interesting that other people want to interact with. So going from this thing where I was playing it in my head to seeing you play it and smiling, that's amazing. And so we got to see that cycle in 2 weeks, and that's fantastic.
Well, I'm glad I have
this experience under my belt. I can brag about being there and working on this project, you know, which I've done a lot. And I like to bring it up, say like I made a game at Double Fine, you know. It was a real fantasy experience for me to have done it, and I don't know. That's about it. That's it, really. It's like I'm glad I can brag about it. Thanks, guys. It was fun seeing y'all again.
Amen.
Thanks, Ben.
You guys.
See you later.
See ya.
Okay, we've come to the end of Amnesia Fortnight this year. I want to thank, first of all, everyone who pitched a game. I know that was a long time ago that a lot of people's hearts were broken, but it was very tough and...
There's no broken hearts here, Tom.
And then all the project leaders of all the projects. Those are 4 awesome games. I look forward to playing them again. I'm going to go back to my desk and play them all again. They turned out awesome.
And I think there's one more person to thank.
Oh, what is your...
I'd like to thank Tim.
No, that's so sweet.
Yeah.
So awkward. Thank you. Thank you. Great. I'm glad you're all thankful for me pushing my work off onto you for figuring out what games we're going to make. Do we cover everything?
Should we
I
give out
think
like
that's
Justin
it.
Bailey's contact information because you don't have to fund these games?
BizDev@doublefine.com to please fund all of these games. BIZDEV at doublefine.com. And that's how you do it. Okay, thanks everybody. Bye. Thanks for coming. Nice job. Nice job.